Hi everybody, it's Dave from Dave's Life Over 65. Just a quick and very short little video. It's about chaga. I just thought maybe I would give you a quick synopsis of what I've learned since I've received my first package of chaga. And I'll show you what I've got here. First of all, I've been using it every day. I have some tea here. And it tastes very good. I particularly like the taste of the chaga. And excuse me, my camera gimbal is doing its own thing right now. What I've been doing, and I'm not absolutely certain that what I'm doing is correct. Excuse me while I move out of the light there, that's better. Still getting used to this gimbal. Anyways, what I've done is I have ordered a packet of chaga chunks from a company in Quebec, and they harvest it from the northern regions of Quebec, and they harvest it at the right time. Apparently, it does matter when you harvest the chaga. From what I've read and what I've heard, chaga should be harvested in the winter months when it's dormant. This is what I've heard. Don't take that as gospel, because I haven't actually been able to verify that. Anyways, I received it about 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every night. And here's what I've found. You can chop it up nice and fine and make it in a coffee maker. Makes excellent chaga. And I understand that you can use it at least twice. I use mine 3 times. And then even after I've finished using it, I'm not done with it yet. Let me explain. What I do with my chaga is I make tea with it. Basically, I have a little strainer thing, and I fill up the large cup you just saw with chaga, well, not with chaga, but with water, and I have about 2 teaspoons of chaga, and I just let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes, and by that time it's nice and cool, so you can just drink it like a soft drink. But you can also, as I mentioned earlier, chop it up into little pieces and put it into a coffee filter and make your chaga tea that way. And then when I'm finished making the chaga tea, I put the whole thing away in the fridge where it keeps it cool, and then following night I'll use it again. I'm using the chunks now for 2 reasons, and I'll explain. When I make my chaga now, I put it into the little strainer, 2 teaspoons, and I very slowly pour boiling hot water over it. Well, not boiling hot water, but shortly after boiling hot water, over the chaga until it fills up to the top of the cup, and that puts the chaga chunks in the water and helps infuse the chaga into the water. And then I let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes, and then I put it back in the fridge, and I go ahead and enjoy the chaga. When I'm finished with that, let me just switch directions on my camera here. I'll be right back. Okay, here's an example of some chaga that I've picked up, that I've used a couple of days ago. I put it in this little, I call it a test test pan they use for checking fire starting and stuff. What we have here is dry chaga. It's you can still dent it with your fingernail, I think. I don't know if you'll be able to pick that up or not. Focus is not so good. Anyways, basically this is tea that I've used in this case 3 times, and then I put it on here to dry out. So I put it on this, let's see, I put it on here yesterday No, the day before yesterday at night. So it's not fully. It's getting there. It's. I can still feel it's a little soft and spongy, especially the bigger pieces. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Anyways, so I'm going to let it dry for another day. I have some other chaga here. Oops. Let me just bring this back up. This is some chaga I put up about 3 days ago, or at least, let's put it this way, I dried it for 3 days. This thing is not focusing. There we go. There it goes. Finally. Alright, so this is some chaga, and it's pretty dry. Let me pause it for a minute. Oh, there is no pause. Oh well. This big chunk here. Here's a good one. Okay, this piece here has been dried for about 3 days, and pretty hard. This is the chaga that I bought. It's closed. Their address is Ancestral Chaga, 1101 Marie-Victorin, Odanak, Quebec. Put their stupid barcode right over top of the, there we go. When I'm in this mode, I can't get it to focus in close. Anyways, this chaga is still fairly moist. See if I can. I don't know if you can pick that up, but I was able to put my thumbnail imprint on it. So what I had to do to use this out of the bag as a cold extender, I have to put it on my tray and let it dry out. Let it chaga out of the bag as it comes. It's pretty soft. Pretty, I wouldn't exactly say moist, but it's pretty soft. There are instructions for use. Is dosage adults 18 years and older. Drink 1 cup, 250 milliliters of this liquid once daily. It cautions if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, consult a healthcare practitioner prior to use. It says if you bought the powder, infuse 1 teaspoon per cup of water in the coffee maker. If it's a nugget, infuse 1.5 to 2 grams, 10 to 15 nuggets, in a tea brewer. Infuse for 30 minutes to an hour. Chunk, add 1 to 2 chunks, that's chunks that size, I think. Add 1 to 2 chunks per liter of water, simmer for 1 to 2 hours. Filter it and store the leftovers in the refrigerator for up to 10 days. Why would you want to store it unless you could reuse it? But I've heard from other people that know a lot about chaga that you can use it up. Well, one of my favorite sources is Lonnie and Connie from Far North Bushcraft. He used to call him something else, but he recommends that you use it only twice. I personally use it 3 times in these the small chunk format. You can also buy from this company the powder ground, and then you just run it through your coffee maker. And when I use it that way, I use it only twice. It's only when it's in a chunk form. Now, I want to test the dried chaga here. So I put it in this bag. It's a pretty tough little bag. So what I'm going to do at some point is see if I can grind it in something like a mortar and pestle and grind it myself. I also have a coffee grinder coming from Amazon. The only issue with the coffee grinder that one of the fellows whose video I was watching, excuse me, I can't remember the guy's channel, he recommended that if you do grind it in a coffee grinder, that you be very careful, because the friction caused by the coffee grinder could actually ignite the chaga. So it would be best if it's a little bit moist, like when it first comes in the bag. Or the price of the chunk chaga and the pre-ground chaga is the same, so it's your preference. If you want to use it in a coffee maker, then buy the powdered version and save yourself the trouble. Again, the reason I want to keep the chunks is because these will make good coal extenders. Anyways, give this a try. You don't have to use this brand. There's other brands on the market, and they look pretty much the same. I might get some Siberian chaga, because I just wanted to compare it with the Canadian one. I'm a Canadian living in Toronto, and I don't want to pay the insane shipping that the United States wants, the U.S. Postal Service wants to ship anything. So if I can get it sourced in Canada, or at least Amazon Prime, then I don't have to pay that crazy shipping that they want. But don't be afraid to try chaga if you can't get some yourself. In fact, I would recommend getting it from somebody like these guys, because a lot of people damage birch trees. Now, I've been told that if the birch tree has chaga on it, it's probably dead or dying. Although other fellows said if it's dead, it doesn't have the nutritional value, the medicinal value that something harvested from a live tree. But if properly harvested, you will not hurt the tree. That's if you know what you're doing. There's a lot of good videos on how to harvest correctly so that you don't damage the tree any further than it's already damaged. And a lot of people go out chaga hunting, and as a result have killed thousands of trees in northern Ontario and Quebec. So if you happen to live up north and you know what you're doing, by all means harvest your own. If you want to go to My Self-Reliance, there's a fellow living in northern Ontario, well, north central Ontario at least, and he's very careful how he harvests his chaga. Now, just from my own experience, I got this chaga confused with something called horsehoof fungus. I thought they were the same thing. They're not. They both have medicinal qualities, and they can both be used as fire extenders. The horsehoof fungus, however, takes a lot of prepping. You have to remove all the outer, the hard outer shell, let's say, of the horsehoof fungus, and get down to the amadou. And the amadou is a very good coal extender, and it lasts longer than the chaga does. as a cold extender. However, the chaga has better medicinal purpose than the horseshoe fungus. There'll probably be others. I just haven't encountered them yet. I will be looking for them, and then in another video, I'll probably introduce you to another type of mushroom that can be used for either cold extending or medicinal purposes, or both. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and get out there and explore. But above all, be safe.